senior honors thesis. I still have not signed it. So I have that. I was looking for a plea. Please, bring a pen.
Hello, everyone. I just want to encourage you to get some lunch now, and as soon as all the graduates are seated and here, we will start the ceremony, but you don't have to wait till afterwards to grab something to eat.
So how was the second half of your ride yesterday?
No, I went back.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, I needed to get home, so.
It would have been so fun, but somebody give you a ride.
So Scott drove my car.
I see. You know what? It's quite bad. At separate times. Yeah.
We needed two cars anyways because we brought Sylvia.
Sylvia, right. I see. Very cool.
That when I realized that another car was needed, I figured make Scott drive. He originally was going to bike with me, but he has a hip. He's got a hip injury from running in the morning.
So sometime I'll take that.
Yeah. No, maybe next year we can find it.
I think tomorrow Jane had mentioned like Patrick.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. And that the rain held off?
Yeah. So you guys walked, you did the whole thing?
I did.
I walked right to the doctor's son. Back in the back seat. And then came out for a while.
I was.
Oh, you were up on the platform. Front row seating. So the new seat was Sting there?
Oh yeah, I sang.
See?
You were right. At this ceremony?
Yes.
What did you say?
He sang an old standard called I Want to Love. Which he did at the end. He was also getting it on the radio.
Did he have an instrument? Or was
No, this total acapella.
Yes.
He's fine. He's upstairs now.
Wait, our Laura.
Oh, Laura, yeah. Very concerned. What a great behavior as for the gynecological event.
Okay.
Well, I had some communication with her. She heard some things. Just wish that. So congratulations officially now.
For who?
I thought about it, but I don't know if she was She's sitting. I didn't want to assume she was
Patrick's parents stayed last
Congratulations. How you doing? Good to see you. How you doing? Ready to be done? Ready to be done? Yeah.
Here she is. So you want to...
Right.
Yeah, I should have. But I'm PhD comes well, in the house. In the house.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad you're all inside the tent as it's just started raining. My name is Patrick Heller. I'm a professor of sociology and the current chair of the Department of Sociology. On behalf of the faculty and staff of the Department of Sociology at Brown University, I want to welcome our graduating students, their families, their friends to this part of the Brown graduation ceremony, the last part of the Brown graduation ceremony. As I am sure you know by now, this is the 250th commencement at Brown University. The Department of Sociology has shared in this rich and festive tradition. Sociology is a relatively new discipline, but we first appeared in the Brown curriculum in 1891. The first sociology PhD degree was awarded in 1909, making this the 109th anniversary of sociology at Brown. So today I have two distinct pleasures. The first is to welcome to our department our corporation member, Robert P. Sanchez, class of 58. Robert Sanchez served on the Board of Trustees from 1993 to 1999 and now is a trustee emeritus. He received a Bachelor of Arts degree with honors in English literature from Brown in 1958. Mr. Sanchez did postgraduate work at Columbia and at New York universities. He currently serves as president of the Brown Club of Southwest Florida, where he wishes he was still hanging out right now, given the weather. Mr. Sanchez is the former president of the Associated Alumni Brown University, former national chairman of the Brown Annual Fund, and former president of the Brown Club of New York. He is a recipient of the prestigious Brown Bear Award. His daughter, Stephanie, graduated from Brown class of 1989. Brown and his wife, Diane, who is also here with us today, live in Naples, Florida. And we have another very, very distinguished guest with us today, Sylvia Gulley, who is sitting next to Robert Sanchez. Sylvia is very, very special to us. She did her PhD here at Brown University in that very building. And she is now the president of El Colegio de Mexico, one of the most prestigious universities in Mexico. And just today, she was awarded the Horace Mann Medal for a distinguished alumni. And Sylvia, it's just absolutely a pleasure and a thrill to have you with us today. Thank you for being here. So now for the fun part, I get to introduce my colleagues from the Department of Sociology who are here with us today. Will the members of the Sociology faculty please stand as I call your names, beginning with Professor Gregory Elliott, Professor Frickle, Professor Daniel Hirschman, I told you this would be the fun part, Professor Jose Itzigson, Professor Margot Jackson, Professor Michael Kennedy, Professor David Lindstrom, Professor Laura Lopez Sanchez, Professor Andrew Schrank, Professor Carrie Spearin, and Professor Michael White. I also want to take a quick moment to thank our extraordinary staff, not only for all the work they've done with our graduate students and for keeping the department running, but also all the work they've done in making this ceremony possible today, beginning with Betsy Valley, who's there. Amanda Figgins, who's hiding in the back. Shane Martin, who is making this ceremony globally available. And Jesse Tessier, who could not be with us today. I will now turn the program over to Professor Scott Frickle, the Director of Graduate Studies, who will announce our SCM and AM degree recipients, followed by the PhD degree recipients. Their degrees were officially conferred at the graduate school commencement ceremony this morning. Now the Department of Sociology recognizes them and their accomplishments in this ceremony. Scott?
Hello, everyone. It's my privilege today to recognize students receiving their MA or PhD in Sociology and the Master's degree in Social Analysis and Research, or MSAR. Together with your families, friends, and mentors, I congratulate you on these important accomplishments. It's always meaningful to celebrate new graduates, both because it provides an opportunity to reflect on our students' paths and accomplishments, and because it provides a clear sense of the passing of time as another milestone is reached and another academic season comes to a close. Today in my remarks, you'll hear a little bit about sociological research conducted by our PhD graduate students, research that spans 3 continents and 4 world regions, work that harnesses techniques of qualitative, quantitative, and mixed methods to answer some big questions about social and environmental inequality, about states and bureaucracies, about labor, economy, and political struggle. And this is precisely what I continue to find so wonderfully fascinating about this discipline of sociology. It brings the world to our doorstep, and it produces knowledge about that world that continually asks us, really challenges us, to always be making new sense of it. And so while we mark time today, let's remember that the world's social dynamism and complexity is, in a way, timeless. Society will always give us more to learn and more reason to share what we learn with others. Today we celebrate all of our graduates for your efforts and accomplishments and give you the very best wishes as you embark on the next steps. And we look forward to following your developing careers. I'll begin with our students receiving the master's degree. Graduates, as I call your name, please come forward to be acknowledged and receive a small gift from our department. First up are 4 students who have earned the degree of Master of Science in Social Analysis and Research. In absentia, Wanghu Pan and we should just acknowledge Wang Hu. And then Yidan Ma. Michael Huen. And Chui Xiao. Congratulations. 5 students enrolled in the PhD program have also this year earned the degree of Master of Arts in Sociology. Also in absentia, Danielle M. Falzone. For her thesis titled Negotiating Process, Institutional Power in the UN Climate Talks, advised by Timmons Roberts. Patrick Heller is the reader on that thesis. Chinyere Abai, for her thesis, Our Neighbors, Our Health, a longitudinal analysis of gentrification and the health of incumbent residents. Her advisor was Margot Jackson, and her reader is Josh Pashevitz. Congratulations. Amanda C. Ball. Her thesis is titled, Would You Have Done Something During the Civil Rights Movement? White Anti-Racist Habitus and Civil Duty in the Colorblind Era. Her advisor is Jose Itzikson. Her reader is Laura Lopez Sanders. Laura A. Garbus. Her thesis is titled, When the Blank Slate is a White One, White Normative Isomorphism and the Foundation of National Public Radio. Her advisor is Jose Itzikson, and her reader is Daniel Hirschman. Finally, Ieva Jumbaite. Her thesis is titled, Presence of Gender, Women's Empowerment, Wealth, and Community Norms in Rural India. Ieva, stand up, please. Her advisor is Susan Short, and her reader is Patrick Heller. Ieva is also this year's winner of the Alden Spear Jr. Award, which recognizes superior achievement in the Master of Arts thesis. Ieva, congratulations for an excellent master's thesis and a much-deserved honor. Finally, this year we are celebrating 4 students who have earned doctoral degrees in sociology, the PhD, marking the end of the long road and the beginning of what we hope will be exciting and rewarding careers for each of you. These scholars have received distinguished research awards from the National Science Foundation, the Social Science Research Council, and the Brown Graduate School, among others. They come here having published peer-reviewed research articles, given lectures to academic audiences, and shared their work more broadly with the community and public at large. They have taught and mentored students and peers in the classroom and beyond, developing their own pedagogies and working to balance the academic trifecta of research, teaching, and service. And now, perhaps most importantly for them, they're moving on to exciting new professional careers. First up, again in absentia, is Dr. Zhuyong Li. Zhuyong is unable to be with us today, but she is receiving her PhD this year for her dissertation titled Environmental Outcomes in Multiple Spatial Scales, Firms, Governments, and Environmental Movement Organizations Beyond the Neighborhood, chaired by John Logan. Dr. Li is currently a postdoctoral fellow at the Ivey Business School in Western University in London, Ontario, Canada. Dr. Marcelo Bort. Marcelo comes to us from Washington, D.C., where he is Assistant Professor of Race and Global Studies at the School of International Service at American University. Marcella, stand. You guys should stand while I do this, all right? Marcella's dissertation is titled Unmaking the Racial State, Decolonialization, Race, and the Ideal Bureaucrat in Bolivia. His dissertation advisor, Jose Itzikson, writes in full, Marcelo is a superb sociologist. His dissertation is a fantastic ethnography of Bolivia's State Department, analyzing the process of decolonialization of the state and showing how a bureaucratic organization can diversify and change its culture. Marcelo beautifully analyzes how this process takes place in the most colonized branch of the Bolivian state and shows how organizations resist change and real processes of diversification can only take place with the support of the central administration. But Marcelo is not only a great ethnographer and theorist, he is an all-around scholar who is also very good at quantitative analysis. He is now teaching at American University, and I look forward to his future scholarship as I believe it will greatly contribute to advancing the discipline. As do we all. Congratulations, Marcelo. Dr. Patrick Main. Dr. Main receives his PhD today for his dissertation titled The Dynamic Interplay Between Demographic and Economic Inequality in the United States, 1980 to 2014, chaired by Margot Jackson. The starting point for Dr. Main's dissertation is the shocking increase in economic inequality in the United States over the past 4 years. The wealthiest 0.1% of Americans now control over 20% of wealth. Patrick's dissertation considers the relationship between economic status, especially income and wealth, and the fundamental demographic factors of birth or fertility and death or mortality. In several parts, he works towards an answer to the question, how has the changing relationship between income and fertility and mortality contributed to patterns of income inequality over time? His study emphasizes the role that non-demographic processes such as shifting tax and economic policies and the changing macroeconomy are contributing to increases in income inequality even more than previously thought. We look forward to watching his career develop, beginning with a PhD-level consulting position at IQVIA in Boston, which he begins later this month. Congratulations. Dr. Irene Pang. Irene receives her PhD today for her dissertation titled Becoming Citizens, Construction Workers in Beijing and Delhi, chaired by Nitsan Chorev. Based on 2 years of ethnographic fieldwork on building construction sites in Beijing and New Delhi, her comparative study translates big questions about labor, civil society, and the state in India and in China in counterintuitive ways that helps us understand what makes workers more or less likely to resist the system that oppresses them. Never one to shy away from expansive projects, Professor Chorev notes that in this case, the two-country comparison represents, and I quote, an exercise in moderation. Dr. Pang has spent this year on a postdoctoral fellowship at Northwestern University in Chicago and is now on her way to Simon Fraser University in Vancouver, Canada, where she will be Assistant Professor of International Studies. Congratulations, Irene. That concludes the celebration of our graduate students. I know that I will speak for my faculty and staff colleagues when I say that we will miss you and that we wish you great success in the future. Please come back and visit whenever you can.
Thank you, Scott, and congratulations to all of our students earning their graduate degrees today. We are very proud of you. Professor Carrie Spearin, the co-director of the Undergraduate Studies program, will now introduce students who are being awarded undergraduate degrees. This is the official Brown University ceremony for the award of undergraduate degrees. Carrie?
Let me get myself all organized here for a second. So hold on. I'm going to have a drink, and it's really water. And then I might stop shaking. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my honor to recognize the students who are graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Sociology and a Bachelor of Science in Social Analysis and Research. As the primary academic advisor of these students and the instructor of the senior seminar this year, I've had the pleasure of working with these students for several years, some of them since their very first days at Brown University. I have enjoyed watching and engaging with them as they've grappled with difficult questions about the social world. They are a fantastic group of scholars and people, and I have no doubt that they will go on to contribute meaningfully and thoughtfully to whatever fields they choose to pursue. I truly love each and every one of you. Thank you to the parents for sharing them with me. And thank you all for sharing your intellectual curiosity, your wit, and your humor, and all the laughs that we've had together with me. I will do my best to move through what I call a very bittersweet day for me with as few tears as possible. I think I've worked them out. But know that you will be missed by our entire department, but most of all, by me. Before I formally begin, I'd like to acknowledge all the parents, the family, the friends who are here today, as well as all those who can't be here today, that have supported these students. As college professors, we do our best to challenge and develop students' thinking, but we could not do our job without the solid foundations you have provided them. So on behalf of the entire faculty, I thank you for the support and encouragement you have given these students and all the support and encouragement I am sure you will continue to give them as they move out into the world. So before I award the diplomas, our department would like to recognize a set of outstanding students for academic achievements and dedication to the sociology community. I'd like to call up Clem Epley, Nick Hoynes, and Mika Matsuno. And just step back, because now I can't see everybody that I want to look at. The Samuel L.C. Lamport Prize in International Understanding is offered to undergraduate students for theses that focus on international understanding with an emphasis on cooperation and tolerance. There are 2 recipients for this award this year. The first recipient is Clem Epley. Clem's thesis investigates how the notion of Western civilization is used in American and European conservative political rhetoric. Clem's thesis is described by his advisor, Patrick Heller, as a brilliantly sophisticated analysis of you're going to kill me with these words, civilizational discourses that uses an innovative and highly rigorous technique of discourse analysis. Congratulations, Clem. We have an award. You'll have to go get the award and come right back. Mika. I'll wait for you to come back, Clem. The second recipient of the Samuel L.C. Lamport Prize is Mika Matsuno. Mika's thesis uses the 19th century shifting demography of St. Helena, a British colony, to illustrate how colonies were embedded within larger networks of interactions and flows across space and time. Mika's thesis is described by her advisor, Rachel Franklin, as a rigorous mixed methods analysis, making use of government archives and censuses to show, both qualitatively and quantitatively, how dependent St. Helena's population was on events taking place across the British Empire. Congratulations, Mika. The Sociological Methods Prize is awarded to a student, oh yeah, you move closer to make it, who employs creative and/or rigorous methodologies in their honors theses. This year's recipient is Nicholas Hoynes. Nick, oh, yes, clap. Nick's thesis is described by his advisor, John Logan, as an excellent example of mixed methods research, focusing on the development of a small city over the last 30 years. Nick's study employed historical, documentary materials, census data, GIS mapping, and intensive interviewing with expert informants to describe developmental changes and to clarify how different constituencies are participating in planning decisions. Congratulations, Nick. You can come back. Our final award is for the dedication to the concentration, which is given to students who have dedicated extraordinary time, effort, and commitment to fostering a sense of community among undergraduate students and faculty in the department. This year's recipients are Mika Matsuno and Clem Epley. I have thoroughly enjoyed working with both of these students for the last several years, especially during my Friday afternoon office hours, which were always quite lively and filled with great 90s rock music, and most of all, a lot of laughs. I am going to miss the two of you so very much, so congratulations. You two can sit. Clem's gonna, Nika's gonna stay. Oh, you got over there. Oh, you have to go over there. Go. Then you need to come back. And Nick, you can sit. And Mika, you can stay right next to Betsy. And Clem can sit down. I just like being director. It's fantastic. The faculty and staff would also like to take a moment to recognize Mika. She has been an integral part of the sociology department for the last 2 years as our student worker. She's done everything, all different things. And honestly, we couldn't have survived the last 2 challenging years in our department without her commitment, her patience, and her sense of humor. So on behalf of myself, the staff, and the faculty, thank you so very much. You will be missed. And now on to the diplomas. Okay. Some of our students are graduating with 2 concentrations and have chosen to receive their diplomas in a different department or program. And others just could not be here with us today. Even so, they have been students, peers, and friends of this department. So I want to offer heartfelt congratulations in absentia to Erica Adakwa, Paxton Chang, Gabrielle Shannon Frampton, Cameron Johnson, Nicolette Lee, Martin Martinez, Nambula Mambambo, Maya Menifee, who is graduating with honors, Liliana Sampedro, and Michael Zaslaski. Now, as I call the graduates forward to receive their diploma, I will say a few words about them. You can all go over, receive your diploma, and then you can come and stand next to me as I say such nice things about you. So, Let's begin with those receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Sociology. Hans Fritsch. Hans receives honors for his thesis examining the conceptions of legal consciousness among unauthorized Mexican immigrants in Southern California. After graduation, Hans plans to spend a year living out of his car before beginning law school at Stanford University in the fall of 2019, where he hopes to focus on civil rights and constitutional law. Frank Chem. Ready? Frank identifies as a proud first-generation Vietnamese American and came to sociology at the advice of his older brother, who told him to take classes that sounded intriguing. After Brown, Frank will be moving home to Houston, where he can work and look for opportunities, where he can apply the skills he learned at Brown to enrich his life and the lives of others. Congratulations. Jameelah Gilmour. Jameelah was drawn to sociology by the succinct ways in which sociologists, especially sociologists of color, are able to articulate the phenomena of the world around them. She dedicates this degree to her mother, who passed away in 2012, and hopes that she can continue to make her mother, siblings, family, friends, and mentors proud. Jameelah will continue at Brown next year in our Masters of Social Analysis Research Graduate Program. Congratulations, Jameelah. Natsumi Horikawa. Oh, you're fine. Natsumi originally came to sociology through a course she took in her first year. Me. She would like to give a huge shout out to her parents and brother, who are here today for their immense support throughout college. After graduation, Natsumi will be moving to New York City to pursue a full-time analyst role in corporate banking with SMBC. Congratulations. Nicholas Hoynes. In addition to being the recipient of the Sociological Methods Prize, Nick receives honors for his thesis on urban planning in Poughkeepsie, New York. With a lifelong activist and civilly engaged mother and a sociologist father, social problems have been the topic of dinner table conversations for as long as Nick can remember. Next year, Nick will be pursuing a master's in social analysis and research here at Brown. Congratulations. Maria G. So Maria is unique because not only is Maria earning a Bachelor of Arts in Sociology from Brown University, she is also, next Saturday, earning a Bachelor of Fine Arts from the Rhode Island School of Design. So she is a 5-year dual degree student. Maria says that she did not begin her 5-year dual degree with having any plans to mesh the 2 degrees together, but she found sociology helped her put all of that together. So it's sociology and graphic design, correct? Post-graduation, Maria plans to move to New York to pursue work as a graphic designer, hopefully at places that allow her to do research and apply what she's learned in sociology. Congratulations, Maria. Declan Kennan. Declan was drawn to sociology because he was interested in finding out why people did awful things to each other. And on the whole, he has found sociology to have some of the answers. We wish Declan the best with his post-Brown plans. Daniel Lowe. Daniel receives honors for his thesis about the race chasm in economics-related concentrations here at Brown. Daniel was drawn to sociology by the methodological training and the holistic approach sociologists use to solve problems, which he feels balances well with his other concentration, economics. After graduating, Daniel will be moving to Hong Kong to work at Education First, an international education company. Congratulations. Mika Matsuno. In addition to receiving the Samuel Lamport Prize, Mika receives honors for her thesis on the shifting demography of St. Helena. Mika was randomly assigned to me as a first-year advisee on her second day at Brown. Lucky Mika. And while she came to me that day, originally interested in studying history, I encouraged her to try some sociology classes. Mika quickly discovered that the skills learned in sociology allowed her to better apply the knowledge of history in the contemporary moment. After Brown, she will be moving to France to teach English and plan her next steps. Congratulations, Mika. Matthew Mayer. Matthew was also randomly assigned to me as a first-year advisor, so I met him on his second day of school. And he was originally drawn to sociology because of the unique perspective it has to offer on power structures, particularly in a policy context. Next year, he will be working in New York at Milbank Tweed, a law firm, before enrolling at law school at the University of Chicago in the fall of 2019. Congratulations. Vandana Ravi. During Vandana's first year at Brown, she took classes in 8 different departments and was really unsure of whether she would find a concentration that would be able to fit in all the different things she loved learning about. One of those courses was in the sociology department and provided a strong framework for her to see how her passions fit together. Her plans after Brown are still hazy, but her goal is to become a participatory design researcher in community development contexts. Congratulations. Vanessa Sullivan. Vanessa chose to concentrate in sociology because she was interested in how various social institutions have impacted the development of American culture. After graduation, Vanessa will continue caring for her grandfather and cats, as well as volunteering at the Providence Animal League. She will eventually like to begin a career in human resources or social work. Congratulations. Kayla Thomas. I actually met Kayla before she came to Brown University at a day on College Hill, because I remember her coming up to our sociology booth and asking all sorts of fantastic questions. Kayla's interest in sociology developed out of a sociology class she took in high school and from reading several books by Malcolm Gladwell. Kayla was drawn to sociology because she has always felt that if so much of our behavior is taught and learned, it follows that there is so much potential for social transformation. After graduation, Kayla will be pursuing a PhD in sociology at Yale University, where she hopes to focus on the sociology of liberation. Congratulations. Frank Tull. Frank spent all 4 years at Brown as a varsity athlete on the football team. And he was originally drawn to sociology because he wanted to better understand how humans worked in relation to their environments. After graduation, Frank will be working at Parthenon EY, a management consulting firm in Boston. And now the Bachelor of Science in Social Analysis and Research, Clemens Epley. In addition to receiving the Samuel Lamport Prize, Clem receives honors for his thesis about the idea of the West in conservative political discourse. Clem came to sociology at the encouragement of his first-year advisor, and after a classical sociological theory course he took during his sophomore year. He feels his time studying sociology has pushed him intellectually and encouraged him to question himself and grow comfortable with discomforting ideas. Clem's plans for this summer are to live out of Hans's car before he begins a research assistant position at MIT. Congratulations. Sienna Chapman. Sienna was originally drawn to sociology because she was interested in studying and researching the human behavior within the social world. Next year, she will be attending the University of Pennsylvania to pursue a master's degree in criminology. Congratulations. Timothy Hittner. Tim receives honors for his thesis examining racialized responses in a classroom setting using an experimental, data-driven design. Tim is originally from Jefferson City, Missouri, where he grew up on his family's farm. And this summer, he'll be moving back to Missouri to be temporarily reunited with his cows. He will then begin a PhD program in the fall in sociology at Columbia University in New York. Congratulations. And that concludes our list of undergraduates completing their degree.
Here know this well, and as do the faculty, but Carrie over the years has done an extraordinary job, and I just want to recognize her publicly for her commitment and her devotion to our undergraduate program. Thank you, Carrie. So we are almost done. But before bringing this ceremony to an end, let me just express one wish and a few words of thanks. First, to our graduating students, may you all go forth boldly. May you embrace new worlds, and being the great sociologists that you have become, may the critique always be with you. And a word of thanks, it's been said before, but it needs to be said again. The path to a BA, 4 years plus sometimes, the path to an MA, and a few more years, the path to a PhD, many more years, is a long and arduous one. It's a path that requires a lot of work, a lot of perseverance, a lot of caffeine, and an extraordinary support system. None of our graduates would have stood before us today to receive their degrees if it had not been for the support of families, of parents, of friends, for the many sacrifices, both emotional and material, that you have made over the years. So I would ask that all our students rise and do a 180. I would ask that the faculty also stand along with the staff. And please join me in offering our heartfelt thanks to the support systems, the friends, the families, to all of you. Thank you.
If I could have 2 words.
Yes. Please stay with me. Thank you. Robert Sanchez would like to say a few words. Mr. Sanchez?
Thank you, Patrick. It's always a joy to be back to this campus, and particularly to be able to join such wonderful students such as you all in this sociology department. I've given degrees out in various departments, and I'm always awed by the caliber of the students that I see standing up here and receiving these degrees. I just want to leave you with a little word that Brown is something that I know has never left me, and I've never really left Brown. Take that to heart, because as you get out into the world, you'll be seeing other Brown graduates, you'll be seeing people that you never would dream of ever meeting, and they'll have that thing in common with you of being part and parcel of this Brown experience. Don't ever forget that this university is here, this university has loved you, and I hope you will love this university. I'm still I celebrate my 60th reunion this weekend, 6-0. And it only gets better. So I exhort you to remember that. Keep Brown in your hearts. Stay active. Become part and parcel of the Brown community. There's a lot of networking that goes on. You'll see Brown people everywhere in every corner of this earth. And they can be wonderful people to know, and can be great companions, and can become friends for life. So just keep that in mind, that this university now is integral to your lives and to everything that you do in your life as you go on from here. So congratulations to one and all, and keep Brown close to your hearts.
Bob, thank you so much for those words. I hope that you will all stay in this lovely warm tent and help finish the food and meet with our students and faculty and Bob and Sylvia. This concludes the Department of Sociology ceremonies of the 2018 commencement at Brown University. Thank you all for attending this happy occasion.
Well done, well done. Great. Yeah.